Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid again. Yay! This is your Astro Oracle reading for the month of November. I want to mention today is the first day of my 22 Days of Gratitude sale. Every few days for the first 22 days of November, I'm going to put something special on sale, something different on sale as a thank you for being part of my amazing community. And I will be donating a portion of every single sale to the Humane Society. Very happy about that. So keep an eye on your inbox to find out what goes on sale. And if you do not get my email, sign up to ColetteBaronReid.com/newsletter. Okay, so if you watched the video, the 15 card video for the month of November, you could probably conclude that the energy is relatively disruptive in the month of November and that it's going to be important to take the risk to ask for help, and it's important not to to have really healthy boundaries. Make sure that you know you're not making anything worse for other people. Right? So it's like breathe, bring your energy in, take care of you. And it is an opportunity to make different choices and better choices. So these cards now are going to be per zodiac sign. So this is if your sun sign is Aries, your rising sign is Aries, or your moon is in Aries. These are the three cards for you. So Aries, ooh, this is interesting. So the first card is not for you, and you're flanked by Imagine and Yang. Those two cards here, both of those cards are in protection, not for you, is an upright position. And what this means is that if you are rejected in any way or prevented from moving forward, do not fall prey to catastrophizing. This is about the right use of imagination and how you could kind of go wrong and how it could actually influence your choices if you allow yourself to ponder too many things that are going wrong because they've been prevented, or, for example, if they've been withheld from you. Just don't overreact or make up stories. Don't make any assumptions about things that are slowed down for you or not for you this month. Very, very important to just take a breather for Aries this month. It doesn't mean anything if you're temporarily stymied. That's what it's reminding us, not to overamp on those things. Okay, now let's take a look at, oh, wow, that's interesting. Imagine is in the upright position. Between Worlds is in the protection position, and then Unfinished Symphony, and this is for Taurus. Now, Between Worlds says you're basically not there yet, which is fine, because for Taurus, this is an opportunity for you to dream. This is the Imagine card, helps you recognize that when you're between worlds, it means that there's nothing wrong, right? So Between Worlds in protection can be that you're going, are we there yet? Why am I not there yet? And you forget that you're in process and you think this is the only thing. It's an opportunity for you this November to look at the unfinished business that you may have with other people. It's a great time for you to finish projects. This also speaks to what is unfinished and that you have the capacity to tune in to your imagination to get really good ideas. These are about inspired ideas for you to move past these things. Okay, so now let's look at Gemini. The first card is Go the Distance. Then Flexible, that's in protection, and Peace. So there is no sprinting, Gemini, this month. No sprinting for you. Slow down. This is what I did say also in that 15 card spread. The slowing down is good. Being flexible, you do tend to be flexible and resilient, so this is a good thing. But this is about reminding you not to be impulsive this month at all. You will be a lot more at peace if you slow down, allow yourself the flexibility to deal with whatever is in front of you, and to remember that you're in for the long haul, not a short sprint, and you'll be good. It's pretty amazing when I look back at the weeks, because I always track myself based on the card reading that I had. That's why I started doing these things, because they were so accurate. A few years ago, the Astro Oracle, I would always look at the 9 cards of my, sun sign, rising, and then moon, and I'd be so surprised. And then also, obviously, you guys have been writing in and telling us how accurate it was. And again, it's only accurate in hindsight, but you'll know what we're talking about when you see it. All right, so Loyal Heart for Cancer, Truth Be Told, and To Be Fair. So for Cancer in November, you're going to see, you have to be really honest about when others betray other people. So this is about the kind of seeing things revealed Loyal heart in the protection position is about kind of the sting of betrayal of others. And then to be fair in protection is when it's kind of, it's just not fair. So you have to stay out of that. This is the other thing, is that you don't have any influence around this. So you just have to look at it and go, okay, this is what I've learned from this. Now I have to watch my boundaries. And that's for Cancerians. Now let's take a look at Leo. And that makes sense because we were talking also in the 15 card reading about not jumping in to help other people when, or also to mitigate situations that you would just actually make worse. Now let's look at Leo. Now Leo says to take a risk, come to the edge, regeneration, and exchanging gifts. Okay, so this is kind of interesting because things that you wanted to get off the ground again may take a lot longer than you want, but it doesn't matter because once you take the risk and start it again, the end result is going to be something that you can share with others. It's just not going to happen as quickly as you want. And you're also going to be sorting through what you need to leave behind as well. This is a great month to polish things. Also challenge yourself to let certain things die. This is which enables you to have a greater ability for you to share your gifts with other people. So that's going to be important for you there. Okay, so Virgo is the breathe in protection, not for you in protection, and exchanging gifts. Okay, so this is a reminder of that nothing needs to be done all at once. And sometimes something doesn't happen as quickly as you want to either. But it's also saying here that if something isn't working, don't keep banging on the door. It's a really good time to walk away and don't waste your energy on something, because if you do, then you won't have the energy to exchange, like that sense of my contribution to the world can actually be stymied by chasing after something that's not available. So this is really about also bringing yourself down to right size, like bite-sized pieces of life right now is the best for Virgo. And also to recognize, if something's just not working, just leave it. Leave it for something better. It's about put no energy into that because it's exhausting. Okay, here we go for Libra. All that glitters, and the yin, and by the book. Okay, so it's interesting. When I look at the cards together, they mean something very different if you look at a card by itself. So this is really for Libra about polishing what is already working in your life, not being afraid to take the first move to make something better. But also to recognize that sometimes things, you don't always have to be so super deep. Sometimes you actually have to at least present something that may appear to be superficial, but it's actually not, but it's unnecessary for you to go into so much detail about things. This is just like the action step towards peace, healing, etc., and knowing what is right. So that's the by the book is saying, you know what, this is the right action to take. And you'll know what that is. It is a gesture of good faith is what this is about. So Libra is all about relationships. I think the gesture of good faith for others. And now we're looking at Scorpio. A change in the wind, loyal heart, and here and now in protection. So this is about allowing things to change that are not of your accord. But I like this because it's really bringing the Scorpio into this sense of being more authentically who you are meant to be. And it is about not getting too caught up in a past story, but also in the future story. You don't know who you're going to become, but whatever needs to change in the now is going to have a beautiful impact all on your future, but also on how you perceive your past. The shift also represents a shift in the way you see your past and tell the story about your past, as well as see yourself in the future and who you will become. So that's pretty cool. Now let's look at Sagittarius. And for Sag, the 3 cards are Milk and Honey, Thinker, and here and now. So don't think too much about the future or the past. This is a playful time for the Sagittarius personality. A milk and honey is enjoy what you have already created, what you have. This is about looking at what you have, not what you don't have. And this is also a good month to learn something. The Thinker card represents education, the way you feed your intellect. And don't, again, be aware of patterns that you may have of the past, and even the way you think, because you have to bring it now into the now. Like, how have you changed? What do you need to change? Because whatever it is that you do enables you to have a different perspective. Also about fun. You might be giving yourself more permission to have some fun in November, even in spite of all the turmoil and et cetera, that like nothing is particularly stable. But this says, you know what, I can work with that. And so it's kind of giving you an opportunity to rethink some of the things that have happened to you in the past, which will then bring in a more playful quality to your future. Okay, now we are looking at Capricorn. Let's see for Capricorn. So Capricorn's first card is To Be Fair in Protection, the card Yang, and Truth Be Told. So with this one here, it's a recognition that you can't help everybody. I think that's what these cards are talking about. Even though you may have the energy, the truth is that you're going to discover what you can and cannot, how much power you actually have, and to be wary of having hubris around what you could do for others, because this is also about what you see others go through, and you want to help, but you have to recognize your own limitations. There's nothing wrong with that, but go as far as you can and recognize where you have to stop. That's what that's talking about. Gosh, I wonder what's happening this month. Now let's look at Aquarius. Poised, Treasure Island and protection and all that glitters. Okay, so this is about not being ready and being okay with not being ready, because you have to be careful not to look outside of yourself for your answers. This is a reminder to come back in and reshape the way you believe you're looking at the concept of abundance. For example, this is about disappointment and poverty consciousness and things that didn't work out according to your expectations. But that said, there's still something there. So it's more of that attitude adjustment that is needed in order for you to be ready. And that there's some beautiful lessons in here, although they may not be as pleasant as you would like them to be in terms of what you experienced this month. Great opportunity to change your ship around, if you will, to look back on saying, you know what, this slowing down for me right now is exactly what I need. And I need to heed that so that I can actually spend time doing the things I love for myself as well. So that's the other piece here. So it's turning the tables and realizing that, okay, if I'm not ready for this, but I can do this. I can place my attention on the thing that I know I already have and love. That's also, even though it's not 100% what I want, which is all that glitters, there's still something to be said for shifting my attitude and looking at what am I ready for? What is in front of me? And can I be really grateful and blessed with that? And Pisces. So Pisces chop wood and co-create and poised in protection. So this is to slow down with whatever it is that you're creating because you don't have all the pieces of the puzzle in order to play the game. So this is saying you have a lot of tasks that still need to be done before you start something new. This could be a procrastination issue that you might have this month in November, or the need to move forward when you're surrounded by clutter and you haven't done what you needed to do before you take an action step forward. You have all the possibilities here to actually take care of what's still not taken care of in front of you in your own personal world when you remember your primary relationship is with spirit and you don't have to do everything all by yourself. So you will become ready when you remember that. So I would look at this and say, you know what, this is a really important time for me to declutter. Declutter my thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and physical environment, the environment of the people around me, etc., because that will help unleash the co-creative energy that I actually have, because right now I really can't. I can't move forward without doing these things first. Okay. What an interesting month for all of us. That's it for now. And don't forget, 22 days of these fabulous sales. A portion of them are all going to the Humane Society. And if you haven't joined my newsletter, ColetteBaronReed.com/newsletter, and you'll get a chance to get some, really good thoughts from me once a week. It is once a week. Is that right, Mark? Yes, once a week. And things I recommend, meditations, all kinds of good stuff. So join my newsletter list if you have not joined it yet. Take care.